6IX9INE has taken snitching and turned it into a weird comeback story. But surprisingly, he's not the first rapper that's been caught snitching. In 2009, Drake had been enjoying early success in the hip-hop industry. But despite all the success, there was a robbery that nearly took his life. Drake had been dining at a restaurant in his hometown of Toronto with a woman named Chantel Brown. After leaving the restaurant, the two walked toward Drake's SUV, and as they were entering the car, two men approached the car, pointing handguns at the rapper. They demanded Drake hand over his jewelry and cash. In his possession was $2,000 cash, gold and diamond necklace, and a $7,000 watch. And the robbery wasn't without a witness. As the thieves took Drake's valuables, Nicholas Carino was exiting a nearby restaurant, and he yelled at the armed men. Already bearing Drake's valuables, the thieves ran off in a getaway car, and they dashed off. The car was stopped by police shortly afterwards for going the wrong way on a one-way street. Two men in the car attempted to run on foot. One was caught along with the driver. However, the third was able to make good on his escape. Surprisingly, the two men that were arrested by police eventually had the charges of armed robbery and possession of stolen property dropped, pleading guilty to only conspiracy to commit robbery, and they served less than 6 months in jail. While the men were going through the legal system, Drake cooperated with authorities, but he wasn't exactly forthcoming in his cooperation. When the news made headlines, Drake was called a snitch by another Toronto-based rapper, which may have influenced him to not cooperate as much as he could have. Drake would later state that the robbery was a setup since they knew where he'd be, telling the Rolling Stones, "I knew it was a setup because I had on a sweater and a jacket. But when they banged on the car window with the gun and opened the door, first thing he said was, 'Yo, run that chain.' They didn't rob my date, and her purse was sitting right there. So I was like, okay, yup. You set the whole thing up." Of all the rap feuds between rival rappers, none have lasted as long as Ja Rule versus 50 Cent. First starting out about 20 years ago, it seemed their mutual hate for one another has reignited once again this summer. After finishing a concert in Saudi Arabia, 50 Cent took to social media to troll Ja Rule for a video that had been posted of him and Irv Gotti fighting to get into a club. As it turns out, Ja Rule took it as a huge offense, and he attempted revenge by posting an Instagram post alluding to 50 Cent. The multiple slide post first featured a rat inside of a shower humming, while the next slide featured a document from the Jimmy Henchman murder case that showed 50 to be an informant. Ja Rule's caption was, "Curtis, is that you? Of all people, you know what it feel like to get your ass whooped by me, scared for your life. Oh, I know this paperwork is fake too, LMAO. I challenge any blog, any news outlet, see if those officers on this paperwork exist. Find them, interview them. 50, you piece sitting down." 50 later responded to the allegations, saying, "My character. They try to attack my character. They'll say he a rat or he this and that. All you gotta do is ask him who I told on. I ain't never told on no one in my life. In the situation, look at his case. It'll tell you who told on him. My name ain't in that case. You see what I'm saying? They tried to use that I needed an order of protection. But why I feel like I'm the bully out here then? You needed protection, and your protection gone. That's the truth. Dude who try to put a spin on anything to make it look good. And then when you get in disputes with younger artists, they don't know what to use against you. So they use what someone else used. They go back to, oh, you this." Now, falsified documents or not, it likely doesn't help 50's case that his adopted son 6IX9INE is now the center of a Snitchgate scandal. Having led a successful career, Rick Ross found his career in jeopardy when a photo of a man who looked like Ross in a corrections uniform surfaced on the internet in 2008. The photo surfaced on a popular public information site called The Smoking Gun that uploads documents and mugshots on celebrity arrests. Ross initially denied the claims, saying it was simply a doppelganger, until he finally admitted to it. The controversy had been so great that Rick Ross decided to address it in his 2008 song, Rich is Gangster, where he rapped, "Feds tore apart the squad. That's what I had to do to play the part. That wasn't me. It was the job. It gets deeper. That was just a start." In the years since, Rick Ross has come to terms with his time employed as the very thing he's against. In an MTV interview, Ross explained the song lyrics along with his time as a CO, saying, "That particular line most definitely referred to me being a CO, and that being a job, and just understanding the grind and the hustle and anything else I may have done. It's just a job, it's a hustle. I wouldn't change nothing, because to me, it's about who Rose is. It's about me. Anywhere I go, when I step in the room, I put it down. People know it's authentic right there. They know it's real. So it's nothing that I was personally threatened with. I was just ready to move on. Let's go get this money. Let's make this music. Right now, to feed my family, I'd do it again. To feed my kids, I'd go get it. My whole team's gonna get it. We gonna win. That's with everything we ever did. I've been winning." Much of the conspiracy theories that surround the mysterious murders of both Tupac and Biggie were actually instigated by Snoop Dogg's claims of the assailant being Death Row Records leader, Suge Knight. These claims came out after a 1998 police report surfaced when Snoop was attacked by men who recognized him to be a part of Death Row Records, who he had just recently separated from. Snoop, alongside some of his friends, ran off from the 5 men who attempted to assault him to deputies posted outside a backstage area. The deputies quickly searched Snoop. They found marijuana, which led to his arrest. The report read of Snoop's arrest saying, "Mr. Broaddus was extremely cooperative during the incident, and in fact, said that he had been thankful that the deputies had been there, as he felt the assault was intended as an act of intimidation. He told me that he felt he was in grave danger as a result of leaving Death Row Records and signing with his new label, No Limits. Now bear in mind, this had been just a year since the death of Biggie and 2 years since Tupac's, which for its time had dominated news reporting for months. Having had a close relationship with Tupac, Snoop knew more than most about who was responsible, as Snoop took his arrest as an opportunity to come clean about who he felt killed Tupac. The report later read, Mr. Broaddus also said that he felt Mr. Arnab was in danger, as he was still under contract to Death Row Records. During the discussion, I said that I knew who killed Tupac Shakur. Mr. Broaddus responded by saying, it was the man sitting next to Tupac. I asked if he meant Suge Knight, and he replied affirmatively. In spite of his testimony, prosecutors never even so much as investigated Knight for the incident. As for Snoop, some people look at this as snitching, as he implicated Suge Knight in the killing of Tupac Shakur. Now while it hadn't been Tekashi's first run-in with the police, his guilty plea in 2019 for conspiracy to commit murder, along with firearms charges, will forever be his most memorable. The charges date back to a year prior to his plea, when he was first arrested, along with other 9 Trey gangsters, and included his manager, Shotty Jordan. It seemed that Tekashi had, at least in part, been aware of the possibility of an investigation, considering just a few months prior to his arrest, he said in an interview, there's only one thing I fear in life. No, 2 things. I fear God, and I fear the FBI. Upon his incarceration, Tekashi's housing in the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn caused immediate issues. For one, Tekashi had enemies by virtue of his gang affiliation. The 9 Trey gang that Tekashi had been a part of had been a sect group of the Bloods, an infamous enemy of the Crips. Not long after being relocated, Tekashi pleaded guilty to the 9 charges and was now facing a mandatory sentence of 47 years in prison. It seemed to be the likely fate of Tekashi upon the announcement of his sentencing, which was to take place in late January of 2020. However, a document was revealed in February 2019 that affirmed that Tekashi had provided legal testimony that led to the aid of investigations regarding his fellow Trey 9 members, and a reduced sentence would be considered. Rumors of Tekashi snitching proved true in December 2019 when a judge took on Tekashi's case early to sentence him to 2 years in prison. In the wake of his sentencing, Tekashi was publicly crucified in almost all fronts in the rap community. The most recent development just occurred in March, where it was announced by a judge that Tekashi would be released from prison and on house arrest. Tekashi came back, dropped a song, he's breaking records, and it seems like fans just don't really care. Hey yo, dog, if you don't click on this video on the screen, I will snitch on you. I will tell your mom, I will tell your dad, I will tell your granny, and your auntie, everything, okay? Yeah, that's what I thought. You're gonna click on this video, aren't you?